and the MD. If you look at prices of fertilizer internationally, let's look at May 2022. The prices of fertilizer ranges from the cheapest one is about $400. The most expensive one is at $1,200. What I wanted to know, the prices of fertilizer as of today, January to March, even November, going back to September 2023, the prices has reduced by not only half, by almost 60% to 70%. When you talk about subsidy, to me, I think it doesn't count as subsidy because the prices of fertilizer has gone down drastically. And then my question is, when you give the price of 1,800 as subsidy on top of the 2,500, where did you get that calculation from? That pays the supplier 3,850, while the price, the cheapest price today for fertilizer is 1,300 in the world market. So are you giving fertilizer to farmers at a cheaper price or triple price? Because the prices as now, as I have it with me now here, as January, November 2023 to May to March 2024, the prices are at $190. Some are at $200. The highest is $600. So if you tabulate that amount to Kenya shillings per bag of 50 kg, you will get the cheapest fertilizer at 1,300, the most expensive one at 2,200. So if you are giving a supplier at 3,850, can you, Vanasias, explain to me why are you paying these people at 3,800? And that is the reason why I was saying, why don't you use National Cereals and Produce Board? It is because maybe National Cereals and Produce Board cannot give a kickback, but a supplier can easily give a kickback. This is exactly what happened at KNTC. They imported a lot of cooking oil, but then they added $9 on top of the normal price. So if you look at the international price, I will say today, as Senator for Marsabit, there is no subsidy. This is enriching a few people who you nominated as suppliers. What do you say about that, Ibona? Yes.
Chairman, let me generally
in summary,
say this. You know, at the point of contract signing, you can only be sure when you look at the rates in the international markets of the fertilizers at that particular time. Number two, there are many other costs that you may not be able to see at the time of looking at the cost of fertilizer, because there is bagging for those that bring in Mombasa, there are clearances and so many and some other levies, which also will increase the cost of the fertilizer. So I'm not trying to defend the pricing, but also understand that when you look at the rate of the dollar as at December or November, when the procurement on the orders were being done, the dollar was probably at its highest. Remember, it's just the last 2 weeks that we've been able to contain the dollar from the 160s to around 130, creating that difference. So the ordering time, the prevailing exchange rates at that time, the other levels may constitute a difference. But because, you know, just like we've said, Kimoted is always interacting with the vendors and checking on the prices every time because it's a procuring entity. Probably I would ask him to really chip in this one.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. What I need to add on this is that basically we do the surveillance of fertilizer prices in the market. And you are right, Senator, that the prices has come down. But based on the time of the procurement, which was sometimes last year in November, the exchange rate was very high. And also, number two, the cost of freight was equally high. And therefore, because of that, we got the most competitive price of the fertilizers. And that is why, Chair, if you look at those farms who do blended for fertilizers in the country, the average price was 5,000 shillings per 50 kg of a bag for a plant in fertilizer. That was the average price. Because they imported the raw materials a little bit expensive, sometimes in August or thereabouts. Remember, it takes almost 2 months to get the raw materials in the country. So we did our own analysis and we confirmed indeed the price which we levied for the fertilizer program for 2024 long range were the most competitive prices. We could not get those kind of prices in any other place. And therefore, we got the price which we feel the citizens of this country can get value.
Okay. Senator Chute, because we need to finish this sitting.
Let me
ask another one question, then Senator Akoli, then we go to the other matter.
It's a rider to my question. I want to thank the CS for, even the MD, for noting that the prices has drastically reduced.
Yeah.
And if what you are telling me in November, if you look at from September, in fact, go back to May 2023, the price has gone down. In fact, May 2023, June, July, prices are lower. Now it's slightly higher. So would you tell this country today that if I buy a fertilizer today and pay all the cost, I've been in business for 40 years, my friend, and similar business. When I'm talking about this fertilizer, I know what I'm talking about. And I want Kenyans to know that the fertilizer they are saying is subsidized. It's not really subsidized. In fact, the prices have been, it has gone up for one simple reason. You said this order is for November, but I'm telling you in May, the prices are even lower than what it is now. So please tell the Kenyans that in the next consignment, the prices of fertilizer would be at 1,800 because computing all the transport costs, insurance and all those things, it will land in Nairobi at 1,700. And I beg, if anybody wants to challenge, I'm ready for that one. So please tell us that the price is higher because of the contract you've gone into, because you wanted to help a certain supplier because you are getting some kickbacks from that supplier.
Senator Chute, you know, whoever rages should prove. And it's better not to cast aspersion. If you have any evidence about kickbacks, you should table it before the chair.
Chair,
Senator Chute, if you don't have, please withdraw that statement.
With your indulgence, Chair, I agree with you. But, you know, in business, definitely the MD, National Cereals and Produce Board, knows the international price.
Senator Chute, yes. You have arranged.
Yes.
Please prove or withdraw. For the record, it's important.
What am I going to withdraw, Chair?
You have said there is a kickback. And
the issue of kickback, the issue that one I can withdraw. But knowing what is happening, you know, I belong to UDA party, and I wanted this government to succeed in all ways possible. But these CSS and MDs are creating problems for this country. And why should I keep quiet? I am here today as a friend of this committee because this is the issue that is affecting Kenyans, millions and millions of Kenyans. And that's why I say, if I am asked today, the price of fertilizer without subsidy will be at 1,800. So will I, what do I
CS, MD, I think if the prices have come down for the subsidy fertilizer internationally, I think it should be also be fairly represented, you negotiate on the prices the farmers are paying, isn't it? Can you promise that the next program, because you know the fertilizer is down, we may enjoy better pricing in terms of the price that the farmers are paying, because it will increase the production because of the lower cost of production. Is it practical or is it not? According to the question that has been asked by Senator Chute.
Chair, if you may allow, just to light on that one, as you're answering that one, Bona MD, are these contracts fixed or can they be varied? So that now we look at now, there can some people who are given 500,000 bags. Can you renegotiate or can you say terminate, or can you renegotiate with them? Because given that the dollar has gone down, and given that the international prices have gone down, why is it not possible to bring even that further down, that will also be in alignment with the president's wish to bring the cost of living down and even bring the cost of fertilizer even further down by maybe another 200-300 from the 25 now maybe to 22. Now, given that the dollar has gone down by about 30% from where it was. Thank you.
Yes, Mr.
Chairman, let me say that it's the interest of government to ensure we even transit completely away from issues of subsidy. Because if the national or international markets can dictate a price that farmers can easily afford, and we're able to produce enough food for ourselves, then that will be our wish. Because the money that we allocate for subsidies will go to doing other things, because the wish list of Kenyans is quite high, and I agree with Mheshimiwa what he's saying. But at the same time, Chairman, you see the issue we are discussing here, issue of food security, is a serious national security issue. There are times when you have no time to discuss some things. Remember, we are working on a crop calendar. We are working on ensuring that we have the right inputs at the right time so that the farmers are able to plant, because we are depending on rain. Most of our farmers are small-scale farmers. They do not have the luxury of the equipment, big machines we are talking about, or irrigation. So when I can tell you, even why this fertilizer again is coming today, is because we took quite some time to negotiate with them, and they became adamant. The fertilizer coming today is a fertilizer that we give an LC, and there is no other supplier who has an LC, because we went the consignment way, because we want to become innovative to ensure there is provision of fertilizer, and many other interventions that we have really gone out of our way to ensure fertilizer is there. So what I am saying, Chair, that if you have the luxury and latitude of more commodities in the market, then we can really be able to dictate. The problem in the Gaza region, the Ukraine-Iran war has really disrupted supply chains. Mainly used to take a few days. Today we have another over 2 weeks, because they have to go all the way back to South Africa and come. Time is being wasted, and it is raining. So I understand exactly what the members are saying, but in the circumstances that we are in right now, it's not really that easy to tell a customer or a supplier, then let us discuss supply with 300 shillings less. Because at the time of acquisition of this product also, or when he purchased or bought his material, then probably the price does not have any room. We are you, probably I've seen this is a learning ground. We've learned. Probably when making the next procurement, we will not do in December, we will not do in November. Probably we may start the exercise in June, so that we have all the time to look and check and ensure that even fertilizer is applied before the start of the long range or the long range season. So, MD, unless there is something you want to add.
Thank you very much, Bwana Waziri. So, in terms of the distribution of fertilizer, because now finalizing, we go to the other matter, which we intend to dispense within the next 30 minutes. There is also some issues regarding the distribution of fertilizer. One is delay in distribution of fertilizer. Number two, because you find that, Bwana Waziri, that if you go to the farmers from the Rift Valley region, where the rain comes before the other region in this country, they continue to say that their fertilizer should be at least in their stores in December. First of all, to reduce congestion. Secondly, so that they can be able to get the fertilizer in time and plant during the, before the rain comes. That is number one. Number two is the distribution of fertilizer to the last mile. I know Waziri tried, and that's for the governors, to give at least 4 stations in every ward. That matter will not blame Waziri, because up to now, most of the governors, by the time we are talking, only 15 brought. So the others, they never brought their satellite stations to take the fertilizer. But also, when we went to AJAABU, there were satellite fertilizer stations, but there was no fertilizer because there was a miscommunication between the NCPB, I think, the CEO for cooperatives, which I think it's sorted for now. Number 3, Waziri, is we have to differentiate what is grown in different regions. You go to the rice growing areas, you take mavuno for maize, you find mavuno for rice. They are using TSP, they are using ammonium, the sulfate of ammonia, but you find they have mavuno in the stores. It's not usable. 3, Waziri, let's understand the mechanisms and how these plants are being planted. Go to my irrigation scheme where I come from. Because of the water issue, you normally plant in shifts. You find there are some who are doing this month, the next month, or even 2 months. So once you start the planting fertilizer for the rice, then you cut it off. You start the top dressing, you must know there are people who are still planting. So it brings a little bit of a problem. That is about the rice. The other day you heard people from avocado complaining because of the tax and the rights. Bwana Waziri, up to now, I am a farmer for macadamia. I have 50 acres. There is no fertilizer, subsidy fertilizer for me. So I buy my own fertilizer. The same for avocado, the farmers for avocado. So once you do and I am already registered. So once you do the formulation, please take note what has been being produced in every each county in this country. Then have a very good program for the distribution during the seasons. And if possible, Waziri, why can't you put the fertilizer in SMB throughout? Kuliko hii ya kuweka leo na kesho wakati kumenyesha, tuweke throughout. Mkulima akitaka kufanya avocado achukue. Mkulima akitaka kwenda kulima pareto achukue. It would be the best way that we can do things. And also enhance the NCPB. Waziri wa muda MD ataki kukwambia, they have a serious shortage of wale watu wanafanya kazi huko. Napata msichana mmoja amekondeshwa huko, amebeba wa file, amefinya hiyo kompyuta mpaka vidole inakaa kama mtu anavuta sigara. They are being overworked. Tafadhali enhance the workforce in NCPB. Kwa sababu wakulima wengine kama Mosoriot, wengine wameenda hapo almost for 4 days get fertilizer. And you know, sisi wa Kenya tuko na tabia kwenda dakika za mwisho kuchukua fertilizer. And if you do that, Waziri, unajua Swahili wanasema kosa moja aliachi mke. Kunaweza kuwa kuna dosari iliingia, lakini nafaa kurekebishwa. Ili wakulima pia wawe na imani na zile mbolea ambazo tunapelekea. Mahali kuna utepetevu, chunguzeni. Pia sisi tutaendelea tuhakikisha kwamba pia kumenyoroka. Sisi tunampatia all the support that you need. That was the case number 1. So because of time, I would like that we go to
Chair.
Yes.
Another concern from the young people and men who carry bags in the cereal boards. They don't have protective gear. They are not fed well, and the payment is bad. 5 shillings per bag. For one to get 500 shillings, they have to carry 100 bags. I think that is slavery. You need to improve on that, my good friend. Thank you.
Ndio umesikia watu wenye wanabeba magunia kikisho wamekula ugali huko. Make sure they are well paid. They are doing one of the, you know, those young people wanafanya kazi ngumu sana. Bila hao hawataweza. I'm sure MD sahihi nyinyi na waziri hamwezi inua igunia iko hapa kilo 50. I'm sure. Kwa hivyo wale watu wako pale waangalieni, mhakikishe kwamba at least wamelipwa vizuri kubeba zile magunia. You know, this fertilizer is offering the job for these young people. Take care of them. Pia nakumbuka Mbungoma alikuwa analia, Kirinyaga nimekutana na wanalia, Nyeri tumekuweko, Embu tuliwapata. Just make sure that at least you take care of them. They are part of you.
Kivua kikuu wanaweza kusaidiwa na masiwa hata kama ni kale kandogo, njia security. Yes.
Umesikia Senator Mundege ameongea. So kwa sababu ya muda senators, I think we'll go to the other matter. This matter was, we are dispensing of was about the subsidy fertilizer yenye imenunuliwa na serikali. Sasa tunaenda, kuna issue ingine yenye ililetwa kuhusu GPC, but before we delve in it, because we have, and I want to thank you, because among the people who have gone to this committee to appear, KL Chemicals hawako, sijawana, Mavuno wako kuja, Joe came. Sijui kwa nini hawako kuja, lakini unajua ukiitwa ukuje katika mambo ya kijandiliwa na kesi kifanywa ukose kuja na utumi mtu kamati, unajua waziri inaamua hata kama umekuja ama hujakuja. Maisha inakuanga namna hiyo. Kwa hivyo court orders have not seen it, so if there is an issue with the court orders, I would like to see them so that I can